What is going on? I'm Zedmod. This is my non-instant training from Tier 1 Warship account. And as you can see here, doing fairly all right. I mean, we're in Tier 18. I've already lost one battle today, but otherwise, look at that. If we just scroll up like that, winning, 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 winning. And there's a bit of a weird balance here. And I gotta say, I've really been enjoying doing warships without instant training. And I know that's probably gonna sound absolutely stupid, but I have just been attacking, getting some wins, and then closing the game, coming back a bit later. It's definitely not good for pushing. Like if I was trying to get first place or trying to get into diamond quickly or legendary, wouldn't be ideal. But for what it is, coming from tier 1, it's been enjoyable, I gotta say. Now, my tech tree is an absolute mess here. I've got mines, I've got cryoneers maxed, I've got my riflemen maxed, I've got machine guns in here. Probably should switch to mortars at some point, maybe. But I've got everything except for Everspark. By the way, Kavan is hero number 1. Sparky is the worst hero this season, I have to say. And then later on, you get into Bullet, and he, of course, becomes the new number 1. So, for those of you, if there's any of you out there that don't have a hero yet and you're thinking about getting Everspark, don't. Get Kavan instead. He's far better. I don't have flares, don't have flamethrowers. I might be getting flamethrowers very soon because, as you can see here, I am HQ locked. I haven't decided if I'm going to spend on the Admiral's Key or not. Let me know in the comments if you think I should, but that's why I went and got shock launchers. I would never have gotten shock launchers before I got artillery or bullet otherwise, but I just figured, you know what, need to give myself a little bit of oomph at the 4-engine room level. So one other thing, rocket launchers are the worst node this season. Hopefully, if you're thinking about getting rocket launchers, don't. Rocket launchers are an absolute waste. I have not seen anyone use them well yet, and that goes from 4 to 5 engine rooms, 3, 4, 5, I should say. So I don't think rocket launchers are good. I think they're an absolute waste this season, but I'd love to hear if you guys think otherwise. They just don't have enough damage. Anyways, let's get into some attacks. Now, as I said earlier, I don't have instant training, so I've been doing something like this. You can't use all Seekers if you don't have instant training because you only get 2 attacks. So I've been doing something like 5 boats Seekers, 3 boats Bombardiers, 4 and 4 depending on the layout. Ideally, if I'm going to stay at 4 engine rooms, I'm going to go get some barrage. That way I can go even fewer boats of Seekers, but it depends if I decide to stay at 4 or if I get that Admiral's Key. Now, this base is perfect for Seekers. I can get, my Bombardiers are going to get this engine room down here, and my Seekers will, I probably need to go on the left-hand line. I get a little bit gun-shy here because I really don't want to drop my Seekers here and then have them make this left turn down for this engine room. So what I'm going to do is we're going to go, I guess they could do a right turn, but that left-hand side one looks a little bit closer. So we are going to drop Kavan right here. We're going to drop 3 boats of Bombardiers. I'm going to get some second wind action, and then rushing for these back engine rooms using our wonderful friends, the Seekers. Now, you wouldn't do this attack strategy if you had instant training, and I'm not sure that's a bad thing. I'm kind of liking the fact that I'm having to mix things up, make up different strategies, use different ideas with different accounts. The fact that I have troop health makes these critters, these Seekers, far stronger, and now I just need to use the rest of my gunboat energy to try to keep them alive as my Bombardiers down here manage to get that engine room. Sometimes these Bombardiers at the bottom take a bit longer, and I'm just waiting, using all of my gunboat energy to try and keep my Seekers alive, which is not a great place to be in, but I really wish they would give an increase. Where are we at here? The Seekers only having 139 reserve size seems quite low. I mean, that is basically 2 attacks worth. I haven't looked at what other troops have, though, so we've got 52 of the Cryobombardiers, which times by 3, yeah, I mean, that's about the same number. I assume the math is something similar, something like, I'm guessing it's not totally unfair, but it just feels like Seekers are a little bit too difficult to use on the pay-to-win side because I just can't keep them in my troops. But at the same time, it's forcing me not to play Boom Beach, which for me is somewhat of a good thing. For Boom Beach, probably not a great thing because I kind of assume they want you to keep playing and keep pushing. It's kind of done the opposite of typically, I had assumed it would like incentivize me to buy instant training, but I've really enjoyed the break of not having to play Boom Beach, not choosing to play Boom Beach nearly as much. And that is a bad thing for Boom Beach, I think, because I would think they make more money if you're playing, but I, for whatever reason, really am enjoying just hanging out and using my attacks when I have them and not using them when I don't. So let me know in the comments if you have instant training, if you don't have instant training. Now you'll see that I'm wasting a ton of time here because Cryobombardiers are just off ignoring the engine room, but it's still fast enough at this point. I know once I get up into like rank high 18, low 19, it's going to be a problem because people are going to start being faster and people are going to have more seekers and things like that. But for right now, I'm cruising to mostly easy victories. That was only by 3 seconds, and that's where if for some reason I decide, not for some reason, if I decide to stay at the 4 engine room level, we'll get barrage. That way we can just get rid of that back engine room and throw our seekers, or even just get rid of mines to keep our seekers alive. But if I go to 5 engine rooms, it's going to be all about bullet. Bullet can help keep them alive as well. Same thing with artillery. So let me know if you're using instant training, and if you're not, if you're enjoying warships. This might be, I mean, I parked 2 accounts at Diamond with over 9 days left in the season. So it's not like I wasn't playing a whole bunch or wasn't using my instant training or something like that. Uh-oh, I just dropped a seeker like an absolute idiot. So there is mistake number 1 coming up. Hopefully that seeker actually does something good for us, but I really don't have a lot of hopes for those seekers on that right-hand side. I actually even named the sides right. This base is going to just simply murder my seekers. So bases like this that are set up to block seekers just crush my hopes and dreams, and I probably should have dropped some more seekers off to that other side, but I don't think I'm going to be able to get all of these engine rooms down. And watching all of your seekers explode when you don't have any sort of flares, like this is just going to be a complete and utter gong show. No one's going to wipe on my base, but you'll see this rocket launcher on the right-hand side. This rocket launcher doing 0 damage to anything, and that's why I'm not thinking that rocket launchers are a good idea this season. I mean, this person doesn't have max level rocket launchers or anything like that, but even if they were max, they just don't do nearly enough damage. And I talked earlier about Kavan being the better hero than Everspark. Spawning Riflemen, so much better than spawning critters. Every time I spawn critters on my other account that doesn't have instant training, the critters basically get obliterated by all of the mines instantly. Whereas, as you can see here, these rifles are doing a little bit of good stuff. They're staying alive, keeping Kavan active and busy and leading an active life and all that sort of stuff. But probably should have dropped my seekers. I mean, this person's base, all those mines, designed exactly to stop seekers. So well done by them. Not so good for me. Let's throw a smoke here so maybe we can keep some of these troops alive. Really doesn't matter as far as we've already lost, so all of my GBE should be used to keep those troops alive, which is very different than not having instant training. So if you've never played warships without instant training, I would suggest using either a second account or trying it, because it's very different. I'm finding it somewhat enjoyable, and we can do things like, I haven't done this in a long time, but we can do something like some rifles on each side. Let's just see what the heck this person has, actually, using the rest of our troops. We've got about 2 boats of seekers. Hopefully we can use that to our advantage and get, say, like this left-hand side engine room down as we go to the right or something along those lines. Doom cannons, starting to see more and more of those, but not overly concerned by Doom Cannon. So I'm going to send a boat of... I totally, utterly, 1000% meant to send some Seekers on that left-hand side engine room. And so now I've got my Riflemen going up front, hopefully to clear some mines, and then I've got all my Bombardiers coming in behind. So just brain off. I find that I have a couple of these attacks every single day where I intend to do one thing and then forget to change my troops. I drop one and then go, oh crap. So now then, we've got all of our Bombardiers and our mass amounts of rifles heading up this right-hand side. And if this was Everspark, there's no way we could possibly get to the back and nearly as quickly as we are. Look at that rocket launcher doing nothing to that Bombardier. So sending them up that right-hand side, keeping that Doom Cannon shocked, cruising right along. There's a whole bunch of mines set up to stop Seekers, but thankfully Kavan giving us all sorts of rifles, and because we started this season at rank number 1, it means that our rifles are maxed when Kavan poops them out. So here we go, getting down this base. It's likely going to be close. I think I delayed a couple extra seconds, but the fact that Cryobombardiers don't target the closest thing, they go wandering looking for things to freeze, means we're likely going to lose. 246, not a good time. So my progress is definitely capped by not having instant training. But at the same time, we're still collecting chests in the gold, and I'm hoping to make Diamond with this account. I think that would be a good accomplishment to get non-instant training into Diamond from rank 1. And with 13 days left, I think it might be possible, but I likely am going to have to get that Admiral's Key. I don't think I'm going to be able to get all the way into Diamond in the 4-engine room layout, because we'll just start losing like crazy. But maybe 4 engine rooms will get locked down, kind of like 3 was with all the defenses. So I am going to start my progress along this route, and I'm going to add the Sky Shield at the moment, and whether or not I hear from you guys, let me know if you think I should be going into 5 engine rooms or going up and getting Barrage, because one of these things has to be done, and I'm not fully decided on what I need to do. Anyways, this was my no instant training video. A little bit different than normal, but like I said, all the way from rank 1 to 18, there's been a lot of complaints about this season being bad and unfair, but I think that it's doing fairly well, actually, and besides Seekers and the pay-to-win aspect, this season's been great. So that's all from me. Hopefully this video finds you happy and healthy and gives you an idea of what to do in Warships if you're coming up behind me. Like I said, my other 2 accounts are parked in Diamond, so no legendary push for me, just not enough time, and no instant training is helping me limit my own time in a weird sort of way. So anyways, I'm Zedmont. Thanks for coming in. Peace.